Perhaps you've heard today about secret emails in your government. I want to give you some background on this, but first the story from the Associated Press. Some of Obama's political appointees are using secret government email accounts to conduct official business. Now let's stop right there. See, ladies and gentlemen, federal law requires these people to use official government accounts, computers and software and so forth, because to do otherwise means you can't know what they're doing. To do otherwise means that the Freedom of Information Act becomes useless. You don't even know what to ask for when you're making claims for documents. So these people who are setting up secret government email accounts have as their purpose violating federal law yet again, concealing their acts, and ruling as totalitarians rule. And this is happening all over your federal bureaucracy. The Associated Press found a practice that complicates agencies' legal responsibilities. It doesn't complicate agencies' legal responsibilities. This is a cover-up. It complicates the citizens' desire to get access to information in the unelected fourth branch of government, the administrative state, which, as I said, in 2012, issued over 3,000 laws. The Associated Press found the practice complicates agencies' legal responsibilities to find and turn over emails under public records requests and congressional inquiries. White House spokesidiot, the paid liar, Jay Carney, acknowledged the practice and said it made imminent sense for cabinet secretaries and other high-profile officials to have what he called alternative email accounts that wouldn't fill with unwanted messages. Do you hear this, idiot? Carney said all their email accounts, public and otherwise, were subject to congressional oversight and requests by citizens under the Freedom of Information Act. Let me tell you something, you paid liar, and I'm going to tell you something very directly. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're listening in. Since late summer of last year, I and my foundation, Landmark Legal Foundation, have been in hand-to-hand legal combat with the Environmental Protection Agency. Yes, we were with the IRS, we've been with other departments, and we are with the Environmental Protection Agency. And you know what it's over? The Freedom of Information Act. We asked, as a matter of law, for information relating to any outside groups that were trying to influence the rulemaking and regulation-making of the Environmental Protection Agency. We wanted to know their names, we wanted their identities, we wanted the names of the individuals, and within the government, we wanted to know who they were meeting with, talking with, so forth and so on. Because, folks, if you think this is about good government that's going on in Washington, you're sadly mistaken. There's an inside-outside cabal here with these radical left environmental groups who hate this country, who hate capitalism, who hate profits and wealth creation, a bunch of reds dressed up as greens. Those people are trying to use the Environmental Protection Agency to gut our industries, to gut our farms and ranches, to destroy our fisheries, and every other damn thing in this country. So we asked for the emails. All electronic communications. So we asked for hard copy communications. And on and on and on. This litigation has been going on since August of last year. A friend of mine and a friend of ours, Chris Horner, working with the Competitive Enterprise Institute, uncovered the fact that the EPA administrator, the ex-administrator, Lisa Jackson, who now is on the board, if not on the board, an executive with Apple. She created intentionally a phony name, and she used that phony name to conduct official government business and sought to conceal that from you and me. And in our litigation, we found out that there's more of this going on. And we wanted to know the names of all the senior officials at the Environmental Protection Agency who are using phony accounts, secret government accounts, in order to conceal their activities from you and me. And this litigation has been going on for months and months and months. And it just so happens that today, our latest filing in front of the federal court, Judge Royce Lamberth, I had them put on our website. Because the Environmental Protection Agency has now gone in the court and said, summary judgment, Your Honor. We've given them everything they have a right to. Here's the schedule for the rest. Now dismiss the case. Now, folks, that ain't going to happen. not while I'm running this foundation. So we want to know the names of these other accounts, and we want to know what organizations, what groups, what special interests have been working hand in hand, arm in arm with your government, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Reds dressed up as Greens in that agency to advance their agenda. And this agenda, this green agenda, this red agenda, it destroys our industries, it destroys our way of life, it destroys jobs. They're like cockroaches, the way they infest these bureaus and departments. And we're not going to let up on this litigation, just as we didn't let up on the IRS scandal. No, we're not. So I am fully aware of what the hell's going on with these phony secret email accounts. And for this lying, let me put it this way. This paid liar, Isa was exactly right about this. This Jay Carney, to treat this like it's no big deal. You file your FOIA request, of course you'll get it. The Associated Press has just awakened to the fact, no, you won't get it. Because they resist you. They fight you. So you have to go to court and fight them back. Which brings me to one other point. I've been hearing some of my friends on the radio of late. I can't even remember all their names. Kudlow was one, and some of the others saying, look, we need a flatter tax. Why do we have these non-profit groups? You know, well, let's get rid of all this. But let me tell you why we need some 501c3 tax-exempt organizations on our side. Because who the hell else is going to litigate against the IRS and the EPA and the FEC and all the rest of the alphabet soup? Do you see these private law firms stepping up to the table? No. They want fees all the time. Do you see hosts at CNBC or people in these other places litigating, taking on this government? No, they don't. No, they don't. The left is essentially funded by the federal government. We conservatives are not. We don't get any money from this grant or that grant, this federal agency or that federal agency. The left is loaded with taxpayer money. So we have a relative handful of groups that go hand in hand to get some contributions, which are tax deductible, to advocate for principles that are American principles. And you're going to wipe that out? How foolish. This isn't about theory. This is reality. I can't tell you how many cases we've been involved in where I look over our shoulder and nobody's behind us. Nobody. We just do it. And the amount of money that's spent by conservative nonprofit groups is minimal. Minimal. And by the way, a nonprofit group, at least a 501c3, doesn't mean you're running a soup kitchen. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So there's a lot of confusion about this. In any event, I thought I would defend some of the conservative think tanks out there who are doing most of the heavy lifting, while others sit there and burp up their thoughts, which aren't terribly effective in the first place. But what's going on at the IRS, folks, in different ways, in different forms, is going on at the EPA. It's going on at the Interior Department, which we've litigated against. It's going on at the Agriculture Department. It's going on in all of them. And the answer is what? What's the answer? The answer is the Constitution. That's the answer. Too bad nobody wants to talk about it, or a relative handful do. That's the only thing that'll fix this. A constitutional revival.